Good morning and welcome. By the authority given in the statutes of the Open University, I declare this congregation open for the conferment of degrees and the presentation of graduates. Distinguished guests, graduates, families, and friends, it is my privilege and pleasure to welcome you all to the 15th of the Open University's degree ceremonies being held in 2022. I'm also delighted to welcome to the ceremony key supporters of the university who have found time in their diaries to be with us today. And a special welcome to our honorary graduate, Professor David Croisdale, LLB. We are delighted to be able to honor you today. Each year, the Open University awards a range of qualifications that you have all worked so hard for. From certificates of higher education to doctorates. Throughout 2022, more than 8,000 graduates are being presented for their qualifications at our degree ceremonies. For my colleagues, and certainly for me, they are highlights of our year because we are celebrating your success. The ceremonies are held throughout England, as well as in Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland, and the Republic of Ireland. For my colleagues, you are graduating from the largest university in Europe with an extraordinary scale, scope, and reach. That success is down to what our graduates achieve, and in not just the qualifications you are being presented today, but the difference that you will make to the society. It goes without saying that today is a very important occasion in the life of you, our graduates, your families and the loved ones, as well as the university and my colleagues who I hope you will feel have nurtured and supported you. Now, you could be forgiven for thinking that the occasion is so important that it needs to be solemn. You would be quite wrong. In every sense, this is a day of celebration. So I'll be very disappointed if anyone crosses this stage today to anything less than a thunderous applause or whatever way you choose to express your enthusiasm and support. With that in mind, could I ask all today's graduates who are able to stand, please stand. All the graduates who are graduating, please stand if you can. Families, friends, and Open University colleagues, let us start today's ceremony by giving all our amazing graduates a huge round of applause. Thank you. Graduates, you can sit down again. Thank you. There is one more way you can show your appreciation to your graduates who is here today. If you post messages or photos on social media, be sure to use the hashtag OU family to share your congratulations and celebrations with the wider OU community. Today's ceremony will begin with presentation of those graduates who have gained higher degrees, Bachelor of Arts, Bachelor of Engineering, and Bachelor of Law degrees. They will be presented by Mr. Nicholas McCart, our Director of Operations, Student Recruitment, and Fees Academic Services. We will then see the awarding of the honorary degree of Doctor of the University to Professor David Croisdale, Appleby, Professor Mary Larkin, Professor of Care, Carers, and Caring in the Faculty of Wellbeing, Education, and Language Studies, will present Professor Croisdale, Appleby, who will sign the honorary graduate's book and make a reply. Then we will continue our presentation of graduates with those who have gained Bachelor of Science degrees, foundation degrees, and diplomas of higher education. I will conclude the ceremony with a final address to the graduates. I now call upon Mr. McCart to present graduates. Okay, thank you.
Executive Dean, I shall now present graduates who have gained higher degrees and have been able to attend here today. For the degree of Doctor of Philosophy, I present to you for a thesis entitled Enhancing Resilience to Drought and Ecosystem Change in Drylands, Assessing Principles of Building Social Ecological Resilience in Northern Ghana, Francis Appiah. For a thesis entitled Effects of the Space Environment on the Performance of SMILE SXI CCDs, I present Thomas Buggy. For a thesis entitled Out of Time, The Experience of First-Time Fatherhood After 40, an Interpretive Phenomenological Analysis, Christopher Challoner. For a thesis entitled CMOS Image Sensors for Precision Astronomy, I present James Ivory. For a thesis entitled Capturing and Exploiting Citation Knowledge for the Recommendation of Scientific Publications, I present Anita Kadka. For a thesis entitled Characterizing the CMOS Image Sensor for the Janus Camera on ESA's JUICE mission to Jupiter, I present Daniel D. Lofthouse-Smith. For a thesis entitled Sir Robert Cecil and Elizabethan Intelligencing 1590 to 1603, I present Chris Mains. For the degree of Doctorate in Education, I present to you for a thesis entitled Progression of African Caribbean Students in Further Education, Positive Approaches for Academic Success. I present Devon Baker Oxley. And for a thesis entitled, Is That Normal? What the Experiences of Apprentices Teach Us About Practice and Policy, I present Tanya Laws. For the degree of Master of Arts in Childhood and Youth, I present Samantha Collins Shirley. Emma Shrub. For the degree of Master of Arts in Classical Studies, I present James Black. Nicola Lata. Jennifer May Bird. James Weir. For the degree of Master of Arts in Creative Writing, I present Bernard Cohen. Dr. Emma Elder. Gwen Weir. For the degree of Master of Arts in Crime and Justice, I present Chelsea Leggett. For the degree of Master of Arts in English, I present Sarah Harris. Alexandra Johnson. Paula Simpson. For the degree of Master of Arts in History, I present Julian Rapp. For the degree of Master of Arts Open, I present Carly Nichols. For the degree of Master of Arts in Philosophy, I present Andrew Duleux. Lee Hall. For the degrees of Master of Business Administration, I present husband and wife, Yolandi Badenhurst Menton and Gareth Menton. Ruby Claydon. Jacob Husfeldt. Emma Kershaw Wright. Kerry Liu. For the degree of Master of Business Administration Leadership Practice, I present Lindsay Morley. For the degree of Master of Business Administration Technology Management, I present Ian Brown. Clive Watts. For the degree of Master of Education, I present Susanna Burrell. Mike Laurie. For the degree of Master of Science in Advanced Networking, I present Peter Marvin. For the degree of Master of Science in Advancing Healthcare Practice, I present Philip McKeough. For the degree of Master of Science in Development Management, I present Sophie Mason. For the degree of Master of Science in Earth Science, I present Alison Matthews. For the degree of Master of Science in Environmental Management, I present Keith Evans. Orastak Sovtekova Story. Sarah Wilkinson. For the degree of Master of Science in Finance, I present Melinda Cooper. Mark Mosher. For the degree of Master of Science in Forensic Psychological Studies, I present Leanne Harvey. For the degree of Master of Science in Human Resource Management, I present Hazel Mossop. For the degree of Master of Science in Medicinal Chemistry, I present Ian Wiley. For the degree of Master of Science in Mental Health Science, I present Maria Adcock. For the degree of Master of Science Open, I present Rachel Walker. For the degree of Master of Science in Psychology, I present Davina Bigu Price. For the degree of Master of Science in Systems Thinking Practice, I present Thomas Elgar. For the degree of Master of Science in Technology Management, I present Joanna Ayton. Kenneth Woodall. Executive Dean. I shall now present graduates who have gained Bachelor of Arts, Bachelor of Engineering and Bachelor of Laws degrees and have been able to attend here today. The full subject details are printed in the insert within the ceremony programme. For the degree of Bachelor of Arts, I present Samantha Baker. Anne-Marie Banks. Amy Beecher. Chris Beale. Leanne Beck. Sarah Beckett. Sarah Bavnani. Isa Bilal. Tanya Bincliffe. Ivan Blagoff. Andrew Brocklehurst. Kelly Bunyan. Alison Carlton. Caliandra Chalice. Jane Chiappino. Georgia Chivers. Rachel Christodoulou. Stephen Clare. Molly Clark Holland. Rianne Clark Walters. Rebecca Clissold. Alison Cobb. Charlotte Cook. Marion Coombs. Graham Cox. Hannah Criddle. Rebecca Denny. Daisy Dolan. Sarah Douglas. Claire Durham. Selen Eby. Anna Ellis. Christopher Ellis. Karina Fairs. Becky Finbow. Sarah Gray. Jessica Greif. Jack Harris. Susan Harwood. Jeanette Hedison. Laura Hodgson. Neil Holmes. Paige Horsley. Joanne Huckle. Nicola Hudson. Claire Hyde. Millie Jackson. Ella Jacobs. Hannah Cape. Debbie Keith. Leslie Kelly. Anne Kettle. Kathy Lambert. Herbert Lawson Jr. Peter Loudon. Susan Lowther. Kelly McGuinness. Margaret McVean. Emma Marshall. Caroline Meek. Susan Morton. Holly Moore. Natalie Murphy. Natasha Naunton Lightfoot. Gemma Neal. Daniel Newman. Chelsea Palmer. Wendy Payne. Kirsty Ryan. Jennifer Smith. Michael Smith. Kerry Ward. Cornelis Brugger. Anne Wilcox. Abby Wilson. Debbie Wolfe. Latifa Yates. For the degree of Bachelor of Engineering, I present Joseph Broughton. Rachel Porter. Kevin Reed. Jack Shaw. For the degree of Bachelor of Laws, I present Shannon Busley. Peter Edmonds. Helen Jubb. Matthew Murphy. Terry Purcell. Jess Tutt. Adam Rolls.
Executive Dean, colleagues, graduates, and guests. Professor David Croysdale Appleby is a leading expert on health and social care, whose passionate commitment to transforming the lives of oppressed, vulnerable, and disadvantaged people has been hugely influential in shaping social policy nationally and internationally. After his PhD in operational research, David's first career was in marketing and communications. He became an internationally successful advertising executive, running worldwide operations for one of the big 5 global agencies. He gained his international reputation as a social reformer and activist through his work to challenge and change the apartheid government in South Africa, drawing global attention to the death of Steve Biko. Such experiences informed his decision to dedicate himself to a life of public service. He gained international recognition for championing innovative developments which empowered some of the most marginalized groups in society and which have been mainstreamed. These include making opportunities in sport for disabled people, establishing creative and employment opportunities for those with learning difficulties, and empowering social housing tenants to shape their communities. Widely known for his groundbreaking interventions in health and social care education, at Health Education England, he introduced innovative new roles such as physician associates, clinical pharmacists, and nursing associates. This was part of his commitment to bringing about radical workforce change that transcends traditional healthcare boundaries, better serves patient needs, and creates a workforce to meet the nation's future healthcare challenges. As Chair of Skills for Care, David demonstrated to the Treasury the major financial contribution to GDP made by social care. His government-commissioned independent review of social work education in 2014 was warmly welcomed by both government and social work professionals. His recommendations were formally accepted, and this has brought radical change to social workers' education, training, and practice. David's expansive vision, wide-ranging expertise, and tireless determination means he is in great demand across the public, private, and voluntary sectors. He has chaired more than 20 organizations, in fields as diverse as forensic science, research ethics, learning disability, neurodiversity, and dementia. He has a long-standing role at NICE, that's the National Institute for Care Excellence, shaping the national guidelines which govern everything in the clinical, public health, and social care fields. A former chair of the Science Council, David is the first layperson ever to chair the Board of Trustees at the Royal College of Physicians in its 500-year history. And he holds prominent roles in the General Medical Council and the Medical Research Council. David also holds ministerial appointments on topics such as mental health, learning disabilities, and carers. His multiple professorships encompass medicine, science, social science, and the humanities. He's a true polymath. His OBE, his election as Fellow of the Academy of Social Sciences, honorary fellowships at the Chartered Society of Forensic Practitioners, the Faculty of Forensic and Legal Medicine, the Faculty of Public Health, and the Academy of Medical Educators. His appointment as the UK's honorary ambassador for the Nelson Mandela Children's Hospital, the first paediatric hospital for the 16 nations of the South Africa Development Community, all exemplify international recognition of the exceptional contributions he has made and the inspirational way he gives so willingly, overcoming challenges others have found insurmountable in order to improve the lives of so many. Nothing gives us greater pleasure than to honor one of our own graduates, particularly one whose career so compellingly exemplifies our own values of inclusion, social justice, and public service. Executive Dean, by the authority of the Senate, I present to you for the honorary degree of Doctor of the University, Professor David Croisdale-Appleby.
Executive Dean, ladies and gentlemen, fellow graduands, and families and friends here today, and academic colleagues too. As I look around the cathedral, this glittering ceremony in which citizens of so many countries of the world are present, it's a reminder of the truly global nature of 21st century life. We've been made so aware of this during the prolonged period of the COVID pandemic, where the scientists and physicians across the globe have chosen to cooperate to develop vaccines at a previously unheard of speed. Now, Jean-Paul Sartre, the 20th century philosopher, said, "We are our choices." And some of us were reminded of this by the Harry Potter author, J.K. Rowling, when she said, through Dumbledore, "It is by our choices, Harry, that we show what we truly are, far more than by our abilities." Professor Larkin made reference to my own work in South Africa, where just such a choice was made by the previously committed Nationalist Party politician F.W. de Klerk, until then a staunch advocate of apartheid. Yet, in his very first speech on being elected president in 1987, to the total surprise of the world, he released Nelson Mandela and other ANC members from prison, and he brought about a peaceful transformation to democracy. What matters was the choice he made and the change in outcome to which it led. Inspirational leaders such as Sir David Attenborough and Greta Thunberg have identified the choices that we are faced with about our green and blue natural worlds and the destruction of our planet through climate change, pointing out to us that we must make the right choices now or leave a poisonous legacy for the future. These choices really matter to us all. And all I ask is that you realize the enormous opportunity each and every one of you will have to bring about change. Change in economic well-being, change in social justice, and change for the benefit of humankind. You can do it because you have the ability to do it, and because you will have the opportunity to do it. And you will do it if you retain the will for change to happen and the belief that you can influence the future. And I believe that you must do it, because all our futures belong to you as you embark upon the next stages of your lives. Be prepared to be defined by the choices each and every one of you makes. But finally, today is a day of great enjoyment for me to be so highly honored by such a wonderful university. I am so proud to join you as a twice-endorsed fellow alumnus of the Open University, something which really matters to me. Thank you.
Executive Dean, continuing the presentation of graduates, I shall now present those who have gained Bachelor of Science degrees, foundation degrees, and diplomas of higher education and have been able to attend here today. The full subject details are printed in the insert within the ceremony programme. For the degree of Bachelor of Science, I present Therese Agbe. Marie Atkins. George Beatel. David Balam. Antoinette Barnett. Maria Bourne. Ian Brown. Karen Burgess. Stuart Callahan. Marie Carpenter. Rachel Christiansen. William Clark. Ryan Cooper. Mark Croft. Bryony Craze. Claudia da Costa. Abigail Daly. Amy Davey. Jasmine Day. Alexander Elverstad. Claire Harding. Paul English. Kerry Fennell. Sadie Foraker Reynolds. Samuel Haley. Rachel Harper. Amanda Harvey. Sally Hatton Saville. James Holloway. Mark Holmes. Marie Howe. Robin Hudson. Mandy James. Rachel Jeffs. Elizabeth Kataria. Maxine Kelsey. Kimberly Kerr. Stephanie Knight. Ruth Laws Chapman. Stephen McGuinness. Rhea Pearson. Kate Petts. Caroline Price. John Queripel. Holly Rivett. Kirsty Robertson. Ashley Rousel. Stephanie Saunders. Bryony Smith. Colette Smith. Lindsay Smith. Esther Stubbs. Mira Surelia. Veronica Taloka. Emma Toombs. David Tuma. Vanya Theochirida. I'm sorry, it's the way it's... Vanya Theocharides Brown. James Walker. Michelle Wardlaw. Daniel Wensley. James Weldon. Eleanor White. Jacqueline White. Susie Wilkinson. Salma Yuhan. Robert Young. For a foundation degree, I present Adrian Clark. And for the Diploma of Higher Education, I present Catherine Hind.
As the Executive Dean of the Faculty of Business and Law at the Open University, I could not be more proud of what you, our graduates, have achieved. Often against the odds, with your work, family, and other commitments, and sometimes many other challenges in your lives. I see you go on to make important contributions to society. I believe that today you all are the most amazing body of graduates anywhere in the world. You have believed in yourselves, and we have believed in you. All of us, you are dedicated associate lecturers and advisors, the expert academics who write your courses, the designers and the technologists who bring them to life, and all the professional services that make the OU what it is, second to none. And now you have shown what that belief can achieve. I know it will have often been tough. That would be the case in normal times, let alone getting through a pandemic. No wonder employers tell us that what they like about OU graduates is that you are determined and driven. You had juggled study and deadlines with many other commitments and demands on your time. But you know, I have been told that there is one thing that is harder than being an OU student, and that is living with one. My wife is here among you here. She can vouch for it because I have been OU graduate and she knows how that feels. When the Open University started back in 1969, our pioneer students and staff really were taking a step in the unknown, putting their faith in a university that was using new methods of teaching and would be open to everyone. Many thought the OU would fail, but instead, it is now one of the most successful universities in the world with over 2 million people who have studied with us. That is just not university, it is a social movement. It is you, our students, who make the OU what it is. But we also owe a huge debt of gratitude to the vision of the university's founders. Foremost among them was Jenny Lee, to whom Prime Minister Harold Wilson gave the job of setting up the university. A woman whose own journey from a Scottish mining community to Minister of State shaped in no small measure what OU is today. Jenny Lee believed that the OU had to be a university for everyone. Rich or poor, man or woman, black or white. And it would do that while maintaining the highest academic standards. You, our graduates, have achieved those high standards of scholarship and professional practice that she was determined would maintain while opening up that opportunity to more people than ever before. She was determined, too, that we would be a respected research university, making discoveries, inventing new products, enabling us to understand each other better and to live together peacefully and without endangering our planet. Curiosity is what drives us, and I'm so glad that you chose to join that most human of adventures to learn and live, as it says in the university's crest. Completion of your qualification means you join a community of Open University alumni around the world. You can continue to keep up with the news, access career advice, or come back to study. You are still a member of the OU family. As you leave today, I hope you will become an ambassador for the Open University and always stand for our values of social and environmental justice, our commitments to inclusion and diversity, and above all, our mission to be open to people, places, methods, and ideas. Do share your experiences with others. Let them know what your journey has meant to you and what it could mean to them. We are hugely proud of you and thankful to everyone who has supported you through that journey. So would all of today's graduates please stand? Those who can. Thank you. family, friends, guests, supporters. Let us give this amazing group of people one last huge round of applause. Thank you. The proceedings of this degree ceremony have been completed, and I now declare this meeting of congregation closed. Would all who are able to do so please stand?